In this tutorial we're going to learn how to use a spreadsheet. But first of all you need to think, why would we want to use a spreadsheet? Okay, a spreadsheet is just a computer program really that you can put information in, and then you can change that information, you can do a search on it so you can get little special bits of information from a massive information that you have, and also you can create graphs and charts and things like that. For example, let's have a look here. I typed in, because I'm interested in football, the total number of goals scored in each World Cup from 1930 to 2014. As you can see here, there is a chart. Now somebody would have typed the information into a spreadsheet and then this would have been made. You can see that it's on this axis, which is normally called the vertical axis, or sometimes we call it the y-axis in other things. It's got the World Cup. Okay, so remember the last World Cup was in Brazil. We can see easily that in Brazil there were 171 goals scored. Okay, now you might want to think, well, which was the World Cup with the greatest number of goals scored? And as you can see, it was Brazil and France tied. Okay, now if you had all this information just written down with Brazil and the number, it would be more difficult to see it. So we can easily see which has the least goals scored. Alright, and if you go all the way back to 1930 here, and then 1934, in Uruguay there was only 70 goals scored, and in Italy there was 70 goals scored too. So it looks like generally you can see a pattern that as time's gone on, more goals have been scored. Now there are lots of reasons for that. If you want to try and think of some and post them on the blog, that would be wonderful. I've got my ideas, let's see if you have your ideas. However, let's go back to using a spreadsheet. So, what spreadsheet are we going to use? Well, we're quite confident using Google Drive, and so we may as well use one that you can use in Google Drive. So, first of all, I'm going to go into Google Drive to check that you can do this. Alright, Google Drive. There you go, I've searched that, gone into Google Drive, go to Google Drive. Now I've done this first because we're going to use an app called Google Sheets, which is one of the little apps that should be up here. Okay, can you see it here? But I've just checked that I can use Google Drive, that when I've finished my work in Google Sheets I can save it. So you've gone into your Google Drive, you might have to sign in. Can you think where you would have your information, the password of where you can sign in to? Yeah, it is on your iPad. Now here we go, I'm going to go on those little icons, can you see there, and I'm going to go to Google Sheets. Okay, now I'm just going to make a blank one. You can see here from other ones there's all kinds of different ways that you can use Google Sheets. Another version would be Excel, and that would be on Windows or in the Office suite, which is the same as Word. So you've got sports day timetable. I know 100% that Mr. Ramon uses these kind of things so much. Okay, and you can get so much information from it. Okay, so they're going to create that sheet, and there you can see that's your blank spreadsheet, and as you can see at the top it says untitled. So you can put whatever title you want in there. Now you can see that there are all these little boxes everywhere. Now some of you may know what these are called. They're called cells. Okay, as you can see, each cell has its own special kind of label. So there's the first one, you can see it's A1, and this one here would be B2, this one here D5. You can see how it highlights as well on the different axes there that you're working on. Okay. Now, just as in Word or in Pages, you can see you've got these pull down menus all along the top there. Can you see them? So what I want you to do now is to just have a little play around, click on different cells, make sure you know what the label is, click on the title, change it, make sure you can do that, alright, and then we'll continue in a moment. So if you pause the video here, that'll be good. Okay, so now I've got about 10 minutes to finish this off, so you'll have to forgive me because I'm going to rush. Right, so we go into Google. You hopefully should be able to get into Google Sheets from this thing here. Oops, daisy. This icon here, which has got all your different tools bar things in. Pull it down, Google Sheets. Right, now, so we had one open before, you were looking at it, you're playing around with it. So there we go. As we said before, you've got all these little boxes that are called cells. What we've got also is these are columns going from up and down, and these are rows. Rows go across. Right, so you've got some data, some information from your survey of how much recycling you do, so you might want to use that. But I'm just going to make one up and pretend that in the class that you've made, you've had a survey about what pets you all have. So title will be children, no, more sensible would be Y6E pets or something like that. Okay, now in the top of this column I'm going to put like what the titles of each column is. So in cell A1 I'm going to put type of pet. Okay, and you can see when I'm typing in this box here that up at the top there it comes up what it is I've actually typed. Okay, and then B, I could put the number of pets. Okay, so imagine you've done a survey in the class, who's got a dog, who's got a cat, etc. And let's say 15 people have a dog. Now what I could put in here is literally number of pets. But what I'm going to put that you use a lot in maths is another word that you might know, which is frequency, and it's how many times this thing occurs. It's just basically the number of pets. So let's go with dogs. Let's say that 15 of you had a dog. Cats, and you can see it's typing up here and in here into the cell. Let's say that only 12 of you have a cat. Hamster. Let's say 4 hamsters. A few people have a snake. It's a strange one, but you never know. And then let's say there was some other more unusual animals, but we didn't want to say each one, because there could be, in some categories of things that we're doing, there could be hundreds of other bits. So quite often we use one called other. So that means it could be somebody's got a pet tarantula, and then somebody else has got a pet turtle, for example. Okay, so 2 others. Now, this is nothing really except a list of things. Now, the good thing about using Google Sheets or Excel or any other spreadsheet is that you can manipulate this information, you can manipulate this data. Alright, so what I want to do is in here, if I can remember, is to add up all of these. So what I'm going to put here is total. Now I could make a what we call kind of a formula that would say add B2 plus B3 plus, think about it, and then it would put the answer in there. Now it's a while since I've used these, so filters, I'm doing what you do with Word. I could be up here doing these things. Okay, or you see there's filter here and filter here on this toolbar. You'll have to have things like that. That's something for later on. So what I'm looking for is this little symbol here, functions. So it might already have some formulas in there. Now I could type out B2 in here, B2 plus, I can't find the plus button, plus, oops, that's not the plus button, plus B3, B4, B5, etc. But if you had 1,000 different pieces of information here, that would take forever. So what do we use from these? There's more functions, but I only need one of these. The sum of, yeah? So what am I going to find the sum of? Okay, the sum of there, but it's not telling me the sum of what. So I need to put in where I want the computer to start adding from and where I want to finish. So think about that before I give you the answer. So it should be B2, which is that one there. Can you see how it highlighted? And I'm going to go to, and what we use here is a colon. Now where am I going to finish? Where's it going to finish? B7? No. B6, isn't it? Oh, error I've made, so I've done something wrong, haven't I? I've moved off it, it doesn't like that. But can you see here, it's saying error, but up here, it's got the original thing that I was putting in. So if I click on there, it comes up and I can add, I'm going to here, so I'm going to have the dogs, the cats, the hamsters, the snakes and the others, but not the words added together, because that would be impossible. The numbers added together. So that's from B1 to B6. Oops. See, I've made a mess there. What do we do when I make a mess? Go back, undo. Go back, undo. Go back, undo. Go back, undo. Oops. I've gone too far back. And it's doing something strange. So what do I need to do? I'm just going to go and delete that. Okay. Now error. I'm going to go back up here and type, so B is this one here, across here. Can you see what I'm doing? B and then across. Okay, and when you click on it, it highlights the row it's on and the column. Alright, so let me go back. So I'm going to put in B6 there. I hope, fingers crossed, that that's it. And as you can see, I've clicked off it. You can see there it's put the answer in. Let's check it. 15 plus 12, well, my brain's not working, is 37. 27, 29, 31, and the 4 is 35. Okay. What can we do with this next? I could do other things. I could find the average. Remember up here, there's the average, and that's like the mean, where you add them all together and you divide by the number of objects or things that you have. But that wouldn't really give us any information. It would give us the average number of pets that people have. Right, so like we were saying before, what we want to do with these normally is to make a chart or a graph. So I want to look along here. This is you recognise these from using Word, yeah? Fill colour, we can do all these different things. But these are probably new. What have we got here? We've got the filters, and then we've got an insert chart. Okay, so I'll click on that, and it's giving me all these different types of charts that I could use. Now, insert. There's nothing in there. Why? Right, well, first thing first, I need to undo it because it was obviously wrong. Well, watch you don't move your mouse off these little cells, otherwise you can be all the way down here. Look, we've got 70s and 80s and 90s, and it'll go on forever. And then this way we've got, let me just whiz across, yeah, we've got MN, all the letters, and then more. You can have more if you want more. So there you go. Right, the reason why it hasn't is because what we've got to do is to highlight it. Right, now I'm not going to include the total because I just want to see, oops, sorry, I just want to see a graph showing the different types of pets that we own. Functions, no. Filter, no. Insert chart. Now, hopefully this will look different. Right, now you can see it's all highlighted. Oops, I pressed it too many times and it disappeared. And now I've pressed it not enough. There we go. Oh, something's happening. Ah, there it is. So can you see it pops off? If I think if I put the mouse away from it, it popped off. Now we've got the different types that we can have, the different types of charts. Here we've got a bar chart, and as you can see, going up the axis, that vertical axis is the frequency or the number of pets, and then here we go, we've got this going across here, the different types of pets. Brilliant. Now I could choose that one. I could have a look and choose this one. Can I choose that one? Well, I can. It's telling me there how many kids have got a dog, and also it's done a little calculation for me, a formula, an algorithm if you like, and it's 42.9% of the class has got a dog, or of the people who've got pets. So I could choose this one, and I could choose this one. Now, when you make a chart, as you know from year 5, you need to give it a better title than this frequency versus type of pet. So what I would do is change this if I'm going to do it. Now, can I change it in there? No. So let me insert it into the thing first. Okay, I grab it. You see the little, I grab it and move. Now then, I'm hoping I can edit the title. I can. So we normally, you see, you have to play around with it. I can't click on there, but I can click on the top. So always a good title in maths is generally a graph to show the number of pets, or the type of pets, I think is better, isn't it? It's the type and number. Y6 it has, or something like that. Okay. And then show the type of pets in Y68. Okay, and then I click on that, and it's popped it in there for me now. Okay, so there's one that you could do. I can move that around and have it there. So as you can see, we've got this, which is our data. We've got this graph here. I could make another graph if you wanted and do something similar. I'm going to move that out of the way. I could then use this one. This is called a pie chart. I couldn't use this, really. Well, you could, but I don't think it would be a very sensible use of a chart. This one neither. This one you can. You'll see things like this in your exams, where what they do is they just put it from one side up to another. So they just swap round the axes. All right. And then there's all different types of ones that you could do. So I'm just going to stop there because I think that's more than enough for this first lesson. And like I said, I only had very little time. So let's review. These are columns. These are rows. This is the information that we're putting in, and as you can see, it's in this area here. This is the data that tells us the number of children that have a dog or a hamster or whatever. And these boxes are called cells, and this is a chart that we've generated really easily. What was this called that we did here? I'm going to leave you to think of that. Let me know in the lesson. Okay. Then we'll think about saving it. Now let me just see. Edit, redo. I think we might call it share. No, I don't want to share it. This is Google Drive. I want to save it, and normally you don't have. I'll move to a folder. Okay, here we go. Move to a folder, and you should have in yours. This is my Google Drive that I have access to more things, but in yours you will have a folder in Year 6 Kids, or you should do. There we go. So Year 6 students, not 14, 15, because that's last year's. I'm being a bit dim, I can't see it. You should have, there we go. Year 2015 to 16 students, and in each one you've got a folder for that. So in computing for 6A, for example, Spreadsheets 6A. in Year 6B, Spreadsheet 6B. So you just move it into that folder and that will save it. It's a little bit different from Excel. Okay, I'll be in there with you, so if you've got any questions, just help. But remember, you should be having a go yourself. Play around with it. If you make a mess of it, doesn't matter. Just use this magic undo button, and then you notice there's a redo. Okay, good luck. Ta-da.